Me, your girl, Star Flames. Welcome to the Morning Glow. In this video, we're going to talk about Kanye West and his wife, Bianca Censori, because they have a trial that is started, but it's going to be a jury trial. It is expected to last for 12 days. They're just in the preliminary rounds, right? So Ye and his wife, they were issued a strong warning by the judge, and this is going viral, and I believe you guys would understand why this portion of the court case is going viral. And I know many people are gonna jump out and say it's because Bianca is always showing a lot of skin. That is true. But it's not just Bianca. It's also Kanye West as well. Remember when Kanye was being, they were in a deposition, and Kanye West is like, he loves to get sued because when he's in deposition, it's like a drama. It's like theatrics for him. And the last time we saw a clip of Kanye West going off when he had on the mask and everything, and he was like, why should I take it off? You know, what, boy? Are you talking to me, boy? You remember all of that drama, and that clip went viral. So what the judge is saying is that no hats, no sunglasses, and nothing covering the face. Everyone should dress appropriately. And if someone doesn't comply, they will not be allowed in the court. If a witness is not dressed properly, they will be turned around at the door. Now, so in case you've missed it also, this trial is the trial about the former construction worker who was a former, I think, musician as well, Tony Saxton. Yes, this is the case. He said that he hired him to be like the 24-hour security guard and the project manager, and he had to sleep on the floor with a coat, and he wanted to bring huge generators inside the building, and he was concerned about fire hazard. He wasn't concerned about carbon monoxide poisoning, and I think that should have been his first concern, carbon monoxide poisoning. But instead, it was he was concerned about fire. The carbon monoxide poisoning would have happened first and then the fire. That's what I believe. Now, what they're saying is that according to, we're pulling this report from the Rolling Stones, and yes, I'm going to give you the details as it is from the media. So they're saying when construction workers' lawsuit over Kanye West's troubled Malibu mansion project kicks off in Los Angeles courtroom this week, everyone better be dressed appropriately, a judge warned Friday. The judge didn't mention any potential rule breakers by name, but West, now known as Ye, famously sold t-shirts emblazoned with swastika. You know, recently he apologized for all of that and everything that he carried on with, right? Now they're saying while his wife Bianca Censori once wore an invisible dress made from pantyhose material on the Grammys red carpet. But we saw everyone copying after that though. But you don't look at the other guys. You know, Bianca's style gets copied so often. But when Bianca does it, it's an outrage. Like, oh, dare you, Bianca. But other celebrities can do exactly what Bianca does, and it's fashion. It's couture. The hypocrisy. It's true. It is true. We've proven that quite a few times, right? So they move on to talk about the rapper and his wife are both expected to testify at the trial, which is scheduled to last 12 days. It is also possible Censori will sit at the defense table as a representative of her husband's company. The couple's lawyer, Andrew Cherkasky, said on Friday. And this report came out on the 23rd of February from Rolling Stones, right? They're saying the parties and witnesses you're calling must comply with the basic dress code of the court. No hats, sunglasses, or revealing clothing. No drama, Judge Brock T. Hammond said at the final status conference Friday. And if someone doesn't comply, they will not be allowed in the courtroom. If a witness is not dressed appropriately, they will be turned around at the door. The trial will zero in on claims that Ye and his property company hired plaintiff Tony Saxton in September 2021 to oversee renovations of the beachfront mansion designed by Pritzker Prize-winning Japanese architect Tada Ando. In a saga that made headlines nationwide, Ye purchased the stunning home for $57.3 million in 2021, stripped it to its bare concrete shell before finally unloading it in September 2024 for $21 million, marking a staggering loss. The buyer, Steve Bo Bellman, told Los Angeles Times that his goal was to restore the architectural gem, to make it as though Kanye was never there. Kanye can scrap his building if he wants to. It is his God-given right, whether we approve or disapprove. Everyone has their vision and everyone has their goals. If Kanye West was living by societal norms and values and expectation, he wouldn't have been discovered. Kanye is a risk taker and he takes calculated risk, not the dangerous ones, minus we're not going to talk about that nitrous oxide. But I'm just saying that if Kanye West wasn't that kind of person, he wouldn't be Kanye West. We may not like it, but the guy is who he is, right? Now, they're saying, according to the lawsuit, Saxton agreed to oversee the project while living on the property and providing round-the-clock security. Saxton alleges he was promised $20,000 a week but received only a single payment. He further alleges he slept at the construction site without a bed and struggled to meet what he described as increasingly extreme demands. He contends he was fired in retaliation for raising safety concerns. On Friday, Klerkowski expressed his own concerns about the trial. He said it was possible members of the public with very strong opinion might show up wearing their own shirts with potentially offensive content. The judge said people with specific messaging on their attire would be excluded from the courtroom. So they want to ensure that they curtail any outbreak, they just want a peaceful trial, and I definitely support that, right? Now they're saying Cherkasky also raised concern that Ye's presence at the courthouse might create security issues. I'm nervous about safety, he said. Nothing that Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg appearance earlier this week at a different courthouse in downtown Los Angeles. So it's not nothing, he said noting. Do I need to go back to sleep? I think so. So he's saying, so Kanye's attorney is nervous about, crowd and people bomb rushing Kanye, and that is highly potentially possible. And he's saying, take note of what happened to Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg appearing earlier this week at a different courthouse in downtown Los Angeles. Mr. Zuckerberg was mobbed by people who were touching and grabbing him. Cherkasky said, if Ye is just standing in the hallway during court breaks, it could be a dangerous situation for him and others. He said, I'm requesting, even if it's just a closet or some sort, that we have some place we can go where there's a zone of safety for my client, Cherkasky said. This is a very considerate lawyer, and he's really, really smart. He's trying to mitigate the animosity because he sees what people do and how people behave once Kanye is out there, right? And I completely agree with him. He's saying there's no special treatment for anyone in this courthouse. So the judge is saying there's no special treatment for anyone in this courthouse. That's what the judge replied. He said, I can tell you that court security knows this case is coming up. There will be a deputy in the courtroom. Okay, Your Honor, let's see if things goes according to your plans, right? Because I believe what Mr. Chakaski is saying with the outside, once people know the trial starts, yay, the easy done. He made graduation, yay, yay, yay. You know, people are going to be out there. Free Kanye, even when there's nothing to free. People are going to be out there doing their thing. Some people love the theatrics. They do. No, they're saying if no last-minute settlement is reached over the next few days, Saxton lawsuit will become the first to reach a jury trial out of a wave of civil complaints from plaintiffs who worked for Ye over the last 6 years. Ye 48 was famously sued more than a dozen times after going on a highly publicized anti-Semitic tirade several years ago. In October 2022, he tweeted his now infamous plan to go DEFCON on Jewish people. Weeks later, Rolling Stone published an investigation that found he presided over a toxic work environment at his Yeezy label, telling one staffer that skinheads and Nazis were his greatest inspiration. He later apologized in an Instagram post written in Hebrew, but he again promoted anti-Semitic ideology, sporting a t-shirt for the Norwegian metal musician Burzum, who has been fined for anti-Semitism. West also promoted Vultures One with artwork that evoke Burzman cover art. Last month, he purchased a full-page advertisement in Wall Street Journal to apologize again for his anti-Semitic remarks. In the statement titled "To Those I've Hurt," he coupled his apology with a discussion of his struggle with bipolar disorder. He was not properly diagnosed until 2023, and that head trauma sustained in the 2002 car accident, which left his jaw shattered, contributed to manic episodes and statements he now deeply regrets. They're saying that at trial, Ye is expected to face claims he directed Saxton to remove all electricity and window from the Malibu home and rely on large generators to power the renovation. Saxton says he objected, warning that the plan posed a serious fire hazard and created extreme danger to his safety. According to the underlying lawsuit, Ye dismissed those concerned and accused Saxton of being an enemy and told him to get the hell out. In an Instagram post, Saxton said Ye's vision for the home was open concept but off the grid. He said Ye wanted a bomb shelter in the basement and no electricity, no window, no plumbing, and no stairs. Saxton alleges he injured his back during the project. His lawsuit is seeking unpaid wages, medical expenses, and damages for lost earnings and emotional distress. Saxton lawyers Ronald Zambrano and Naima Ramani previously won a multi-million-dollar verdict for a plaintiff who sued Soulja Boy. No, I'm going to tell you this. With Naima Ramani on this case, Ye's going to have to pay Tony Saxton. I don't know about the other attorney, but Ye is going to have to pay Tony Saxton with I thought, okay, so Naima Ramani, he was I think he was tied to, let me look that up and tell you exactly what, because Naima Ramani, right? Naima Ramani was one of the first people who called it and said Tony Busby could not win that case against Jay-Z. He is a former district, I forgot district what, and he has been in the legal system for quite some time, and he has a really, really good track record. So when I see Naima Ramani's name, yeah, Kanye is going to have to pay Tony Saxton. And I do believe some of Tony Saxton's allegations, but not all of them. I do believe there were miscommunications as well, not making any excuse for Ye, but I've seen Green Girl. Green Girl was at the trial, and Green Girl has been sharing some information from inside the courtroom. And from what Green Girl has shared, you can tell that there is there was some miscommunication, and they had an amazing, friendship at first, but something went wrong. Okay, so Naima Ramani was a federal prosecutor with the U.S. Attorney's Office handling criminal cases at federal level. He later co-founded West Coast Trial Lawyers, where he is now president and focuses on civil litigation, personal injury law, etc., etc. So he has some background there, and he knows when he gets into something, he knows what he's talking about. So he's normally good at these cases. So I think Ye will definitely have to settle with Tony Saxton. But let's see how the settlement goes. And because these allegations, some of them are not unique when it comes to Kanye West, I do believe that Kanye may have outstanding money for him. But let's see how the trial goes. It should last for 10 days if they're not able to settle out of court. But I would say to Ye, try to settle it and not get into court, because he's focusing on his mental health, and I think nothing is worth your health, whether mental, physical. No amount of money is worth your health. I think he should settle and move on with his life. Try to come to an agreement and move on with his life. That's what I think. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Leave your comments, and we're going to talk some more. Peace.